In today's video, I'm going to run you through the biggest root cause of early extension that is often overlooked. You do not want to miss this video. So often when the word early extension comes up in conversation, a lot of people automatically think we're talking about the downswing. However, early extension is actually far more common in the backswing, and a large part of this is due to setup and how golfers are pivoting. So often at address, we will see golfers get, especially their glutes and their hips, very far back because they're trying to add in a lot of knee bend, or they've just got their pressure way too much on their heels. Now from here, this pulls my balance points back. So it's going to be extremely difficult for me to turn and maintain good body angles. So I'll roughly turn to about here. Now, what golfers then tend to do is they then tend to bring their hips underneath them and their shoulders tend to then flatten off. And this is all in an effort to try and just get themselves into a good position at the top and trying to get a full turn of the body. However, as they do that, like I said, they compromise their angles. Now, once they're compromised, it then becomes extremely difficult to regroup those angles and get us in a good, efficient position for the way down. So actually, if we want to fix early extension, we've got to be looking at the backswing. And if we're looking at the backswing, we've got to understand how to A, set up with a good posture, and B, how to get your body rotating correctly with good shoulder tilts and good hip depth. That's what we're going to cover in today's video. So let's firstly tackle our foundations, which is our posture. We're not going to look at the whole posture. We're going to be focusing more on the pelvis and how it relates to your ankle joint. So if I was just to stand nice and tall here, you can see from the downline view how my pelvis, the center of my hip, is pretty much over the center of my ankle joint right there. Now, when golfers get into poor posture positions, we will see that the center of the hip, and you can kind of take this line right on the back of my pocket right here, gets behind the ankle joint. Now, this is a big no-no right here because, like I said, we can only turn so far in this position until the hips are going to have to come underneath us in order for us to finish our turn. But as a byproduct, we're going to lose our posture. So what are we looking to see in terms of this line right here, the center of our hip relative to the ankles? Well, in a good posture position, we will see that the center of the hip right here is over the ankle. It could be slightly towards the back of the ankle, but as long as it is somewhere over the ankle, we are going to be in a good position right there. This is then also going to give us the space and the range of motion to be able to turn our trail hip back and around, creating A, great pivot, B, great rotation, and C, great body angles. And this is the thing, is it's actually a super simple setup position that allows us then to do all of these things pretty naturally. So how do we find this good position? Well, let me run you through an exercise that's going to show you this exactly. So the drill that we're going to go through is called the wall drill. Now, if you don't have a wall, like I don't have a wall here, you can use an alignment stick as a rough guide, but anything like the dividers on a driving range, any solid objects, even just a post, is going to be fantastic for this. So what I want you to do is go up to this sort of imaginary wall right here and have your heels, so they are one club head width away from the wall. Now, from here, if I get my pelvis too far back, you can see how I would be pushing into the wall. And obviously, if it's a solid wall, I wouldn't be able to push, I'd be able to touch it, and then I wouldn't be able to move anymore. So what this is gonna do is it's gonna give you direct feedback to go, okay, I do not want to touch that wall at address. If I'm touching the wall, I know my pelvis is too far back. So here's what you're going to do. You're going to set up one club head width away from the wall. You're then going to stand nice and tall for me in this position. And what you're going to do is lower your arms down until you feel that nice sort of pressure of your arms on your chest. And then from there, you're going to feel like you keep your pelvis relatively level. It will tilt forwards, obviously, but relatively level, and your legs straight. Now, as you do this, I want you to just let the club drop until it touches the ground, and be sure not to push your butt back into the wall. So you should be able to do this without touching the wall. You can see my arms are hanging just straight down right there. Then from there, I'm going to add in my knee bend. Again, my butt should not be touching that wall right there. Now, if I was to make a swing, you can see how now it's so much easier for me to get that trail hip working back and around and creating depth. If it's breaking through that imaginary wall there, I can't turn it anymore, otherwise I'm going to fall backwards. So this is why, by simply just adjusting your setup position, you're going to find it so much easier. So like I said, that's going to be an awesome drill for you. If I just get rid of the alignment stick, I do sort of that same feeling right here. Now, if I make a backswing, just note how easy it is for me to turn my trail hip back and around and get into that awesome backswing position. So congratulations, you have now made it to the part of the video where you have fixed your root cause. This has now meant we can go ahead and fix your pivot. Being able to maintain body angles, like I say, actually comes a large part from your posture. But then from there, the second part comes from understanding how much shoulder tilt we need to have. So here's the thing, the hips are very much gonna follow what the shoulders wanna do. So for example, I see this all the time, that golfer who, when they take the club back, they start to work this left shoulder very around them. And as a byproduct, you see how the club wants to go inside, my chest, my head wants to go up, and my hips wanna come underneath me. Well, from here, it's pretty much game over. It's going to be extremely difficult to get back on plane, and often golfers, when they do that, will swing over the top. So what are we actually looking to see in terms of shoulder tilt? So from the downline view, hopefully you can see these two alignment sticks right here. So a lot of people think when we're talking about shoulder tilt, we need to have our shoulders pointing all the way down at the golf ball. Well, that is way too much. It is an awful position to be in, puts loads of strain on your body, and frankly, it's unrealistic and it's not healthy. Now, when we actually look at the data, and this data is incredible, if you look at the best players in the world, they will roughly have their shoulders tilted to a point where they point about 4 to 8 inches past, 8 feet, sorry, past the golf ball. Now in this situation, I have an alignment stick here at 4 feet outside of the golf ball and another one at 6 feet. Because I'm hitting a 7-iron, that's sort of the range that we tend to see with a 7-iron. With a driver, it tends to be a little bit flatter just because it's a longer club and it's sort of a shallower swing arc, so we stand a little bit taller. So what I want you to do is set up to this golf ball like you're about to hit your iron. Then from there, grab the club, place it on your shoulders with the butt end of the grip pointing towards the target. Now, if you get into this position here and you turn back and suddenly you see your shoulders get flat, you can see how they're pointing well outside of the second alignment stick, the 6-foot alignment stick. So straight away, that should tell you, oh, I'm turning my shoulders too flat. That means I'm early extending in the backswing, and then I'm gonna have to early extend it even more on the way down. So what we are going to be seeing if we have a good posture is that if I just turn and I point this golf club somewhere in between those two alignment sticks, you can see how actually my trail hip has turned deep. So straight away right there, I have created an efficient pivot. I've managed to get myself in a position where I'm able to maintain body angles, but most importantly, you can see I've got the shoulders pointing in the correct spot, and this has got me in a position now to where if I have a good transitional movement, I'm able just to rotate through the shot and actually generate good leg work, good ground forces, good sequencing, things like that. So such a simple fix is honestly fixing the setup, getting your posture in the right spot, and then from there just doing these drills and feeling what it feels like to get that good shoulder tilt. Now, a couple of other things that you're going to feel as you do this is number one, well, I put 2 fingers up, but number one, you are going to feel your pressure move in your feet. So as we are turning, we're naturally going to move the pressure in our feet. So what you're going to feel like is the pressure in your lead foot is going to go more to, say, the inside part of the ball of the left foot, and the pressure in my trail foot is going to go more towards the heel and slightly on the inside part of the foot. So kind of right here, I'm feeling a lot of my pressure. Now this is creating this pivot, like I said, good hip turn, trail hips work back and around, shoulders are in a good position. And you can see here, if I just start to raise my left shoulder, notice how my hips are coming underneath me. So again, everything's linked very sort of easily, very systematically with each other. So now that we've done that, now that we've gone through that exercise, now we can actually start to hit some shots. So as I'm hitting these shots, I'm going to do some rehearsal swings. I'm going to leave those outside there, and I'm just going to feel like I can get my shoulders pointing at those somewhere in between those two alignment sticks. And often when golfers start to do this, like I said, you'll see the trail hip work back and around perfectly, creating good body angles, but also we will start to see that the club will want to fall into a good top of backswing position. So things will want to start to set up on plane and get you in good spots. So let me hit a golf shot here. Let's see how this one goes. I'm going to feel like I get my shoulders pointing somewhere in that zone, and let's see what happens in terms of the results. If you have questions about anything I've got in today's video, please ask away. If you want to see more root cause videos, again, drop it down in the comments. If you have enjoyed the video, please, again, support the channel, like and subscribe, and I hope to see you back here soon.